Very exciting. I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Anthony Foti. He's performing the duties of the Assistant Secretary for Legislative and Intergovernmental Affairs for the U.S. Department of Commerce. Mr. Foti serves as the Acting Secretary for Legislative and Intergovernmental Affairs at the United States Department of Commerce. In his capacity as Assistant Secretary, Mr. Foti is the principal liaison with the administration, the United States Congress, tribes and state and local governments. As Assistant Secretary, he's also responsible for coordinating and overseeing the Department of Commerce legislative activity, which entails working closely with the Appropriations, Oversight, and Authorization Committees in the United States House of Representatives and the United States Senate to ensure department priorities are considered throughout the legislative and oversight process. Mr. Foti advises the Secretary of Commerce and other senior leadership in the department on legislative matters and congressional relations. Mr. Foti also leads the confirmation process for all presidential nominees who require Senate approval to serve in the Department of Commerce. Before joining the Department of Commerce, Mr. Foti previously served as the Chief of Staff to United States Congressman Dennis Ross of Central Florida. Prior to that, he served for over a decade as Senior Policy Advisor at the law firm of Aiken, Gump, Strass, Hauer, and Feld. He was also the District Director for United States Congressman Bill Paxton of Buffalo, New York. More good news to come. Mr. Foti received his undergraduate degree in economics from the University of Buffalo and is currently pursuing his master's degree in national defense and strategic studies at the United States Naval War College with an anticipated graduation in the fall of 2020. Anthony and his wife and 2 children live in Alexandria, Virginia. So let's give a warm welcome to this Buffalo Bull. There we go.
Well, if the background didn't give it away, the nasally Great Lakes accent does. Very happy to be back home. Grew up northern New York, in Watertown, New York, on the beautiful St. Lawrence River. So seeing this is a reminder of the life I love so dearly and cherish. So it's great to always come back home and be part of the fine community here. So thank you, Richard, for that wonderful introduction. It's truly an honor to be here in Chautauqua County. And more importantly, it's an honor to be here representing the Trump administration. I want to take a few moments to share greetings from my boss, Secretary Ross, who wasn't able to be here today. But I want to reiterate his commitment to ensuring communities affected by COVID-19 here in New York and across the country receive the federal resources needed to speed your recovery and reignite our nation's economy. There's a lot of folks out here today that quickly like to just run through and introduce. Congressman Reed, it's great to be with you today. We're looking forward to hearing from you in a little while. I know Senator Morello's here, Assemblyman Goodell's here. I think Mayor Rosa's here, and on behalf of Mayor Sundquist, I think Crystal's in the crowd. Kind of hard looking through the sun. There's several other folks here today. Oh, there she is. I'm sure I missed a few people, but thank you to everyone. And if I did miss somebody, I apologize. Feel free to interrupt me, shout, and say your name. I will not be offended by that at all. Just great to have such a great group of community leaders all assembled to talk about today's announcement. We're here today because small businesses are the lifeblood of our communities, and President Trump is working diligently every day along with Congressman Reed and our local elected officials to ensure that they have access to capital to respond to and recover from the coronavirus pandemic. Critically, the President signed in March the $2.2 trillion CARES Act, which included in that was $1.5 billion for EDA, which is an agency within the Department of Commerce. That's why you have me here, but more importantly, the congressman who helped vote in favor of this to help prevent, prepare, and respond to the coronavirus. And proudly, on behalf of President Trump and Commerce Secretary Ross, I am pleased to announce today that EDA is awarding $19 million in CARES Act recovery assistance grants to capitalize and administer revolving loan funds that will provide critical gap financing to small businesses and entrepreneurs adversely affected by the coronavirus right here and throughout Western New York. Definitely deserving of a round of applause. you may ask what these investments will do. They will provide small businesses in Western New York with the necessary capital to rebound from the coronavirus pandemic and in turn create a stronger, more resilient state economy for the future. Critically, these investments come at a crucial time to help New York and our nation's economy come roaring back and provide hardworking Americans with new opportunities. So we have 6 EDA announcements we're announcing today. Not all of them are in this community, but the largest one happens to be in this community, hence the reason why we're here. Our friends with the Chautauqua County IDA will receive $10.5 million in EDA grant, CARES Act recovery assistance to capitalize and administer a revolving loan fund that will provide loans to coronavirus impacted businesses in Chautauqua County. That's the main reason why we're here. I'll quickly list a few other the regional ones just because we were limited in time. It's a big state. We could not travel to every area to make these announcements, but the Erie County IDA, your partner just north, will receive $5.4 million. Central New York Regional Planning and Development Board in Syracuse will receive $1.2 million EDA CARES Act recovery assistance. Niagara County IDA will receive $737,000 EDA CARES Act recovery grants. The Southern Tier Enterprise Development Organization in Salamanca will receive $660,000 in EDA CARES Act recovery. And finally, the Regional Economic Development Energy Corporation in Steuben, New York will receive another $550,000 in EDA CARES Act recovery. So congratulations to everyone, importantly to those here in Chautauqua County. These investments come at a crucial time to help New York and our nation's economy come roaring back, as I said. So thank you for being here. These funding announced today come on top of the nearly $5 million in CARES Act recovery assistance that EDA has already announced, and later on this afternoon we'll be traveling to Lake George where we'll make another series of announcements. So New York is primed to be in good position with this administration as it relates to the pandemic response, and I'm proud to be part of here. We've been busy. We still have another $740 million in that $1.5 trillion to make awards. Hopefully there'll be some more in New York, but across this country, and we will do all that we can until the funds are exhausted. I'd like to mention, just before I close and turn it over to the Congressman, that the services in these revolving loan funds that the IDA can use encompass throughout New York, its 514 opportunity zones. Those are really important because Chautauqua County right here has 7 opportunity zones, for example. And the Opportunity Zone Initiative, as the Congressman will know, was created by the President's 2017 Tax Cut and Jobs Act, which provides a really unique vehicle to transform distressed communities into economic vibrant areas. And if the Congressman supported that, we thank him for that. It was important legislation. We're doing good things. And since day one of his administration, the President has been working to ensure that Americans are safer, stronger, and even more prosperous than ever before. So I'm very proud of the role that the Department of Commerce plays in both the EDA funds, the coronavirus funds, but also the Opportunity Zone Fund opportunities to help America's economy grows. Lastly, just before I wrap up, certainly should have said this in the beginning, but I can't do my job without the great group of folks that surround me. Teammates, Joel Frashone is the Director of EDA's Office of External Affairs and Communications. He's probably been the guy that's been calling you nonstop for the last 4 or 5 days to coordinate this. I couldn't do my job without him, and he's a great colleague and a great teammate. Linda, is Linda here? We're from the EDA's Philadelphia Regional Office. She might not have been able to make the ride over, but she's instrumental locally. She's your point of contact. And then Ed Hummel, is Ed here? He is the representative for the state of New York for EDA. So that's the EDA team and the Department of Commerce team. Thank you so much. I will not waste any more of your time talking. We have more important people you want to hear from. But on behalf of the President and Secretary Ross, I wish you the best of luck at your projects, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Anthony. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our Congressman, Tom Reed. Tom?
Good elbow bump. All right, thanks, Rich. Well, it's great to be here with you on such a great, exciting day. Thank you to the Assistant Secretary for being here with us. Thank you to our state partners with our state senator and to our state assemblyman. Thank you to our county executive, PJ, for being here with us, and also our mayors. Mayor, thank you very much for being here with us, and to the folks at Dunkirk and Jamestown This is what it takes, is us coming together as a team, Republicans and Democrats, standing together to make the investments in our communities that this money is going to allow us to do. And to the Secretary and to the President, we say thank you. Thank you for recognizing this vibrant and great community that these funds are going to further enhance and develop in a positive way. And as you're here today on Chautauqua Lake and ending the day on Lake George, you got just a short ride between those beautiful points of New York State. And having started my day on Keuka Lake today, you got all the lakes in between, Anthony, as you know, growing up here. And as you travel across, enjoy that road trip. But I just got to tell you, to be able to see in our congressional district alone $11.7 million come out of the CARES Act and be deployed under this revolving loan program is exciting. This is making investments in our community, in our small businesses. They are going to leverage these dollars, I am confident, to grow these businesses, to create opportunities. And when you mentioned the opportunity tax credits and the zones, I can tell you it was Tim Scott. I serve on the Ways and Means Committee, as you know. We started the concepts of the opportunity zones years ago when Tim was a member of the House, serving on the Ways and Means Committee. Then he went over to the Senate, and Tim is a very good friend of mine. We are communicating on a regular basis, trying to help out on police reform as we speak. But I know that was one of his babies that he left with us on the committee, and we were so glad to see that opportunity tax zone make its way into tax reform of 2017. And I will tell you, leveraging that program with these dollars are going to create jobs of numbers of which we can all be very proud of. And what it's all about at the end of the day is jobs. And what those jobs represent are opportunities for people that fill them. And what does that mean to those people? It means food on their table, a roof over their head, and a place to call home for generations to come. So thank you so much, Anthony, for being here to share this good news with us in Chautauqua County. 10.5 million. I was trying to get another million out of there real quick as we were speaking. We'll take it, no doubt about it. But it's the other areas too. Southern Tier and REDEC. We know those entities across the district. They're going to deploy these dollars responsibly. They're going to use their experience to identify these businesses that will use these dollars. These are taxpayer dollars. We never lose sight of that. And we'll make sure they go to good use. And when you come back, we'll show you some of these businesses and what they've done with these dollars and the opportunities they've created. So thank you very much. Tell the President we say thank you and keep up the great work. And tell the Secretary, Wilbur, we appreciate everything that he does. And we will make sure that we use these investments wisely and for the betterment of our community, as we always do. So, without further ado, Rich, I'll turn it back to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Boom.
At this time, I would like to introduce our New York State Senator, George Morello. George.
Thank you all very much. First and foremost, what a beautiful day here in Chautauqua County. Great to be here. Assistant Secretary, you're in for a treat too as you cross this beautiful and wonderful area that we have here. And thank you very much for being here. This is critically important, and I want to first thank Congressman Tom Reed for always standing up for small business. As a small business owner myself, I can tell you that this is critically important. One of the things that is lacked in our state's response to this coronavirus is the negative impact that this is having on small businesses. And this loan fund couldn't come at a better time. It will be a lifeline to so many businesses that are facing failure. And that's really what we have to worry about most right now is the economic impact of this. We will get through this coronavirus pandemic. We will handle the public health emergency as we have. But the long-term impact, which could last for years, is the economic impact. And it's this lifeline that will support our small businesses and the families that they support. It will help them to not only stay open, but to be able to employ people. It'll keep people from leaving our region, our children from leaving our region, our small businesses from closing and moving out. This will be one more tool in the toolbox for our economic development agencies. I'd like to thank PJ Wendell, our county executive, and of course Rich Dixon and Mark Geis from the IDA for always looking out for the businesses here in Chautauqua County and throughout the region. Also, my partner over in the Assembly, Andy Goodell, thank you very much for all that you do on behalf of the people here in this region and throughout Western New York as we all work together to try and improve the situation and also ensure that our businesses and our families here in Chautauqua County and throughout the region will not only survive this, but thrive in the future. So again, Congressman Tom Reed, Assistant Secretary, thank you so much for all that you've done. Take care.
At this time, I'd like to introduce our New York State Assemblyman, Andy Goodell. Andy, come on up. Y'all tried to get me, Andy. Tried to get me. I'm not doing that on camera. No. Put me in my dorm for 14 days.
It's a great day here in Chautauqua County. Thank you, Anthony. It's always good to see the Assistant Secretary coming back home and not forgetting where you came from and making sure that we have a better future. Also, I thank you, Joel, who grew up just a little south of us, and Corey, and throughout his career has been moving slowly south until he got to D.C., but welcome back. And of course, we're here with this announcement because the staff at the IDA took the initiative and put together the applications and the documentation and has a proven track record to make sure this type of project is successful. And so, Rich, to you and to Mark Geis and your team, great work. I have two comments I wanted to make. First, we're here with this incredible announcement of $10.5 million, the largest single grant in the state of New York for this type of project because of the teamwork that has been so successful here in Chautauqua County. Headed up by our Congressman, Tom Reed, our Senator, George Morello, our County Executive, PJ Wendell, and I'm glad to be part of that team too. But it's that teamwork that is so critical in making sure that projects like this are successful. Before, my colleagues were probably attending school, but back in the 1980s, the EDA came through with a $10 million grant for Alltech, and that was a revolving loan. And those funds enabled us to keep a major employer and a steel maker here in Chautauqua County. And as Alltech paid that loan fund back, those funds were used to help other businesses. And so Chautauqua County comes in with a track record that's 30 to 40 years old of successfully using a revolving loan fund of this magnitude to make an impact on literally dozens and dozens of businesses. And that Alltech fund was used at the beginning of this crisis to provide loans to help keep some of our companies alive, and this funding could not come at a better time. So again, many thanks to my team members and my colleagues for their incredible efforts. Thank you for the EDA, building on 40 years of success. We look forward to this fund helping us not only through this crisis, but helping us over many years to come as we move forward with a revolving loan. Thank you so much to everybody.
Well, the IDA has also been fortunate that we've had, in my time, 4 county executives. The current one being PJ, then George, and Greg Edwards, Vince Horrigan have always been very supportive of the IDA, and I think we do have a wonderful staff. We have a couple of our staff members in the back here today, Kayla and Rosemary Strandberg. I told Kayla, I mean, they put a lot of money aside to come check on this, so Kayla's going to make sure every file is in order and every I is crossed. So It gives me great pleasure at this time, though, to introduce our county executive, Paul Wendell. PJ, come on up.
Well, thank you. Welcome, Assistant Secretary and Joel. The guy's coming back home, which is really nice. Today's kind of the business day for me. I just left the airport, and it's fitting that the businessman told me, he said, I could be anywhere in the country, opportunities, but I want to come back to Chautauqua County. And I think that speaks volumes. I remember when COVID first started, Mark and Rich reached out to me and said, hey, I got this idea. We're going to have $250,000 working capital, $10,000 for our local businesses. What do you think? I said, all right, let's give it a whirl. Supported by the IDAs across the state, and it was a model for other IDAs. So it shows the track record of our IDA and how they're able to utilize the money, leverage the money, and keep people employed and keep businesses moving and keep businesses here in Chautauqua County. The track record speaks for itself. Rich and Mark, the staff, Kayla and Rosemary, just phenomenal. You know, whatever we've needed and whatever residents and businesses in Chautauqua County have needed, they've been there. And what better way, and I think it's only fitting to sit there and listen. The largest amount given here in the state of New York, or this is our region rather, $10.5 million. I can tell you right now that $10.5 million will be leveraged and utilized many times over. And businesses who may leave Chautauqua County will be able to stay here. We'll be able to prosper. We'll be able to use our lake. We'll be able to provide for their families for decades and futures. I can't say how happy and excited I am to be part of the team. And as Andy and George and Tom have said, we are a team. We work together. Across lines, we don't look at anything other than the job we can do for our residents. And again, so on behalf of myself and the residents and businesses of Chautauqua County, Assistant Secretary, thank you. Please forward it on to the President. I'm sure he will be pleased to know how happy we are. But I can't be more excited for this and the opportunity. I thank everybody for being here, and I look forward to the future and the businesses able to grow and stay here in Chautauqua County. Thank you.
Mayor Eddie Sundquist sends his regret. He's got union negotiations all day, so but he sends his regret. And Crystal was here in his place, so thanks for coming, Crystal.
Thanks for having me.
At this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our mayor of Dunkirk, Mr. Willie Rosas. Willie, come on up.
Thank you. They said they always save the best for last, is why they saved me for last. I also want to welcome both you, Anthony Foti and Joe Frashone, from the U.S. Department of Commerce here to Chautauqua County. There's a lot of excitement about this announcement here today, and it's good to know that we are being recognized here. These funds are certainly needed in our communities here in Chautauqua County, and to know that our team, our economic development team here countywide, has been recognized by bringing in these funds here is an awesome feeling for me as the mayor of one of the two cities in our county. I can tell you that these funds are certainly needed, and communities in our county are becoming economically distressed due to this pandemic. And these funds will certainly help us to try to bring in a strategy that will bring back stability to our economic development. We have a strategy where we are working together collaboratively. This is different than in the past. In the past, in our county, communities like the city of Dunkirk, where I'm mayor, have worked on their own silo. This has changed over the past few years. I've seen the change happening, and I'm proud to be here as part of this change. This is bipartisan. This is not a Democrat or a Republican. This is what's best for our community, and that's what I stand for. So I am very proud to be here and be a part of this, and our economic development team in the city of Dunkirk looks forward to working collaboratively with the county team in implementing these funds and making sure that they accomplish the goal, which is, again, to bring in stability, economic development stability to our community here in Chautauqua County. Thank you.
So that wraps up our speakers of the day, but I would also like to thank Joel and Anthony from the EDA and the Department of Commerce. I can't tell you how much this means to our businesses. For the last 16 years, I was on the job 3 months. I got a check for $3 million and a couple boxes of loan files, and we got it from the JDA out of New York, and they said, have at it. And we did. Loans that were, just because of timing, took a long time to process. We were processing in a month. And I've seen many businesses and many families that have been able to go on because of this loan fund. And this new loan fund will be even better. I think we're going to help more people to retain their jobs, grow their businesses, and keep Chautauqua County the beautiful place that it is. So again, thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Joel. And I really appreciate it. So that's all for today, except if you were a speaker, you need to come up behind me for a picture. And Mike Metzger's, you need to come too. So thank you.
Well done. Well done.
If it wasn't for these two, I'd get nothing done.
It's an anchor.
Oh, yeah, I do. Oh, no,
That's it,
Yep.
We get masks on so we can pretend like we don't like each other.
Smile.
That's it. Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Drive safe.